Hey everybody, we had kind of a ignore the continued run. We're not worried about streaks at all here. We had kind of a semi-fully formed run that I'm just bailing on because commentary went south 3 minutes in. JL7EZ, WWM, back with Samson, and really like cruising so far. Having a good time on the new save file. In spite of the fact, and I'm not trying to insinuate the well, I won the last run. Wah. It's not like that, but you know, the last run was kind of stinky. Slow, both in terms of speed and the DPS required to get, you know, like time to kill on enemies, and just like not particularly thrilling. But we did some shovel plays, and as a result of those shovel plays, we got some shovel days. There's really nothing that rhymes there that makes any sense whatsoever. Alright, try not to walk on the spikes, but this is the beauty of being Samson. My favorite Woody Harrelson movie. Missing page 2 is really great if we can get an arcade on the next floor and keep cruising. The Butterbean has appeared in the basement. You know, part of being a little bit more experienced, please explode over here. Thank you. Part of being a little bit more experienced in Isaac is realizing that just because you unlock something, that's not necessarily good. Like when it's like, you unlocked Mom's knife, I'm like, oh, life's good. But when it's like, you've unlocked Butterbean, I'm like, oh no. I only have like 4 items in the item pool, and now one of them's gonna be flipping Butterbean, dude. No thank you. But you know, all roads lead through Butterbean eventually. You want to get 1,000,000%, 1,000,001, 1,001. Flexing guy, golden god, platinum god. You're going to need some buttered beans at some point. I am going to go to the curse room. I'm willing to sack down a spirit heart here. It's really only half a spirit heart. And then parasitoid tears. Dude, I'm loving it. I'll never forgive McDonald's. They took "I'm loving it" away from me. Used to say it all the time when I was a kid. I would always be like, they'd be like, hey Ryan, how you enjoying lunch? And I'd go, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. And people were like, you should sell that to like a major food corporation for a jingle. And I said no. And wouldn't you know it, peering around the corner, Michael Keaton as Ray Kroc, going, hey, this kid's on to something. Then 2 years later, Justin Timberlake shows up. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. And I'm like, it's not like that, Justin. It's ba-da-ba-ba-ba. But I guess they changed the tune ever so slightly just to cut me out. It's a little upsetting. I'm not trying to say that the McDonald's Corporation is derelict and owes me, you know, millions of dollars in penalties and arrears. I'm just trying to say, maybe they do. What? Do you see my flies? They just gave up on life there. You know, I didn't know what the word arrears meant. As long as I see posts now and then, they're like, NL has taught me so many strange English words. Here's one: arrears. What is an arrear? I still have no idea. I believe it's a penalty, a financial penalty that's different from interest, but sort of like it adheres to a schedule of fees or something like that. Because there's a movie called Kingpin, and in the movie, Roy Munson, played by Woody Harrelson, strangely enough, you remember him from The Importance of Being Samson. He plays a washed-up bowler who's coaching an Amish fellow played by Randy Quaid, who you may remember as, well, he did that video where he has intercourse with his wife, where she's wearing a mask that makes her look like Rupert Murdoch. But before that, probably most famous for the pilot at the end of Independence Day. You know, the American hero. Anyway, so he's training this bowler, and the bowler is like, the bowler hurts his hand. I'm basically spoiling the whole movie. Anyway, the point is, he has to enter into a bowling tournament, but he hasn't paid his dues to the bowling league, or the association, for like 20 years. And the lady goes, your dues are in arrears. And for years, I thought that she said, your dues are in our ears. Like, he's got so many debts to the Professional Bowling Association that, like, it starts at her feet and it piled up all the way to her ears. And then I watched it with subtitles on at one point and it said arrears. And I said, what the heck is that? I still don't know. You know what? Let's learn together. This is nothing if not an edutainment show. What is an arrear? What is an arrest warrant? Money that is owed and should have been paid earlier. Arrears is a legal term for the part of a debt that is overdue after missing one or more required payments. The amount of arrears is the amount accrued from the date on which the first missed payment is due. I have no idea still. That sounds kind of like debt, but more specific to me. That's about where my mental faculties lie there. And this is why there are accountants on planet Earth for stuff like that. Arrears. I don't own the Merriam-Webster dictionary. I don't need to know what that means, hopefully. I submit my bills on time, whenever possible. I got a letter from the Canadian government today. If you're wondering what it's like to live in a bureaucracy, and I'm not necessarily saying that it's a bad thing, I got a letter from the Canadian government today that was like, hey, your installment fee for this quarterly tax period is due on like the 1st of September. And I was like, you know, it sends a shiver up your spine. But you're like, yeah, I know. You know, I'm an adult. Once every 3 months, I send you a chunk of money and we're good. And then it said the amount due is 0.00. And I guess, thank you for Dark Bomb for the 8th round in a row, by the way. I guess that letter should be good news. You know, you should open the letter and be like, that's fantastic, I guess. Thanks for sending me a piece of paper that says I don't owe you any money. But instead, I was just bewildered. Because, you know, it's all in legalese. So I had to go through it and, you know, you're looking at numbers and you're like, which one of these numbers is the, 0.00? Oh, okay, thanks. Business as usual, I guess. Anyway, one of these is a library. Again, not, oh, I don't owe the government any money. It's not really meant to be like that. I'm just saying, these are, what is Isaac if not weird anecdotes from my personal life, you know? It's basically what it boils down to in the whole scheme of things at this point. It's not like I'm gonna unleash some kind of revolutionary Isaac technology or something like that at this point. I'm gonna invent some kind of strategy that's never been heard of before. By the way, this room's freaking me out. Can somebody put a ruler in the center of the screen, please? This chest is off-center, and it's freaking me out. Go look. Something else was supposed to spawn in that room, but it doesn't exist in our game yet. I believe that to be true. You know, maybe we haven't unlocked Bone Hearts, or... We have had Eternal Hearts, so I don't think those are unlocked. Like, I don't think those need to be unlocked, is what I mean to say. Just a little... You know, that's... How you know you've played too much Isaac, where you're like, well, that's exactly one item's pixel width to the left. You know what I'm going to talk about again? I'm going to talk about the video games industry. I apologize, but I've been playing Guacamelee 2. I'm going to tell you two things that are going to seem diametrically opposed. I think Guacamelee 2 is a great video game. Secondarily, I'm not going to finish it, but I put 5 hours into it. Why am I not going to finish it? I'm going to be honest with you. I was probably about 2 hours away from completing the game, and then I thought I was going to, like, I was at the point where the, you know, the story had played itself out except for the final conclusion, blah, 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 and I thought that I was in the final area, and it took 2 hours to beat this very robust section, and then after I did it, I realized, oh no, I entered a door that was slightly adjacent to the location of the final area, and I accidentally did like a 2-hour-long side quest that gave me a reward I do not care about, and it's not meant to be insulting to the developers of Drinkbox Studios. It's just not something that, you know, resonates with me when I play games on my own terms. I don't care about 100% completion. So I'm genuine when I say this. I'm so disheartened by the fact that I spent, you know, 2 hours doing a side quest that I basically Alt F forward and was like, I don't know if I'm gonna put in the other 2 hours to complete this. It's like, it's not that it's bad, it's quite the opposite. I've been having a great time with it. The fact that I put in 5 hours, you know, off stream is a testament to the fact that I think that that game is highly good. But because I had geared myself up for, like, this is gonna be the last session of Guacamelee, now I'm like, man, it's not even worth it. And I understand there's probably people out there that are like, it's 2 hours, you should just do it. I think it's our first horseman, huh? Yeah, but then I thought that to myself, but I kind of entered into like a philosophical discussion with myself, which is like, you know, I'm darn near 30 years old, and I know I say that all the time, but you know what? Let's take Brother Bobby. Let's go crazy on this run. It only goes to Mom's heart anyway, probably. I'm darn near 30 years old. Who am I trying to impress by like finishing a game that I don't want to finish as if it's a chore? Or not that even that I don't want to finish, but I don't feel like finishing. You know, I gotta accept at some point that I've got an allegiance to myself in my own time, that it's like, you know, if I'd rather be playing X-Plane during my downtime, I should be playing X-Plane, even if there's only 1, maybe 3 or 4 boss fights left in Guacamelee. Guacamelee 2, I should say. Anyway. You know what? It's the run. Let's do it. We have to take it at some point. It's the death of new NL and the rebirth of old NL. But the other thing I was gonna say is shut up about Hollow Knight. I love saying it, but what I mean is not shut up about Hollow Knight is not that good. What I mean is shut up about the fact that Hollow Knight is so good. Everybody knows that it's so good, okay? It's going to be one of the games from this generation, and I use generation loosely, that's going to be remembered the fondest. There's no reason it can't age well. It's the best received Metroidvania in forever. However, when you compare every single Metroidvania that comes out to Hollow Knight, it makes you look like a jerk. Because not every single game can be Hollow Knight. So I've been watching the press on Guacamelee 2. It's very well received from critics. And the fans are like, hey, what gives? It's Guacamelee, but more of it. This isn't what I want out of a sequel. And you're entitled to feel that way. You know, again, since I've opted out of being a card-carrying member of the video game press, I have the right to be a jerk in my discourse now. I'll just apologize for it later. That's fine. You know, if you think Hollow Knight is a much better game than Guacamelee 2, by all means. I think that that is not a wrong opinion to have. But Guacamelee 2 is still really good. And a lot of the, you know, discourse I've seen about it online from players is like, well, it doesn't do anything new for the Metroidvania genre. I think, let's bring it back to diplomacy here, okay? Because I'm being a little rude, I think. By the way, I'm loving this rate of fire combined with parasitoid tears, even if our flies and spiders are not that strong. I think there's a spectrum, there's 2 spectrums when it comes to video games that are important to a lot of people. One is like, you know, well, let's talk about one spectrum first. One is derivative versus innovative. And I think if I said, hey, what kind of game would you prefer? Something that's derivative or something that's innovative? 10 out of 10 people would say innovative. Except me, the radical centrist of gaming. I'm gonna say, it depends. Which one's better? Because, I mean, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's rich, but like to call a Metroidvania innovative instead of derivative is a little weird, because the genre is named after the 2 games that it's derived from, you know? So for a game to be a Metroidvania, inherently it has to be at least a little derivative in terms of its design procedures. But either way, just because something it does new things, I don't think it necessarily makes those new things better. Like, what's the difference between innovation and gimmick? Oh, this Metroidvania only has a double jump. This one has a triple jump. That's innovative. Or is it gimmicky? I don't know. Is it innovative that Guacamelee 2 lets you do special dungeons as a chicken? Chicken-only dungeons with chicken-only puzzles and bosses? Or is that gimmicky? You know, I think it depends. I feel kind of similar about the derivative versus innovative spectrum that I do about, then this one I talk about far more frequently, but open world versus linear. I don't know when it happened, but I guess sometime around like Grand Theft Auto 3 redefining the world of video gaming. Back in like 2001. 2003? Whatever, it's been a while. There's linear games, and then there's open world games. And open world games, for some reason, they have like, there's a huge popular bias that like an open world game is just better than linear games. That I very much disagree with. I find linear games very fun to play. Sometimes more fun to play than open world games, because I don't have to spend half an hour sometimes figuring out where the heck the next mission is, driving over there, riding my horse over there, riding my boat over there, traversing the rooftops of, you know, ancient Rome to get there. You get the idea. And there's a lot of open world games that I would count amongst my favorite games of all time. Grand Theft Auto Vice City, The Witcher 3, probably other ones I just can't think of right now. But I also, you know, I have a preference a lot of the time for linear games. Sometimes I don't want to choose where I want to go. Not because it's too much work, but because I think that the, you know, developers and designers can create a tighter experience if they're like, we didn't put ping pong in the game, and the reason is we just want you to experience the story instead. You know, you can play better ping pong elsewhere.
No, I'm a millennial. I want the game developer to play the game for me. Just give me more cutscenes, please.
That's not what I said, but I always appreciate a good millennial dunk as a millennial. Regardless. Where am I going with this? I'm just trying to defend Guacamelee 2, because I think, like, nobody cares enough about the plight of the second best game. It happens so friggin' often that people are like, well, yeah, it's good, but it's no blah. Oh, Destiny, well, let's not go to bat for Destiny 2. That's gonna make some enemies. Plus, I never played it. But, you know, they'll be like, well, it's good, but it's no Warframe. It's good, but it's no Hollow Knight. It's good, but it's full stop, dude. It's good. $20. I recommend Guacamelee 2, even though I'm not gonna finish it. It's not the strongest recommendation I've ever made, where I'm like, I don't really feel like finishing it, even though I'm at the end. But that's just because I'm a weird dude who would, like, rather fly KLAX to KSFO 3 times instead of finishing the game for whatever reason. And that's my own neurological foible, okay? It doesn't matter, okay? What are you gonna... Instead of playing Guacamelee 2, you're just gonna play Hollow Knight again? That's fine. There can be more than one good game in a genre that's worth playing. I'm not even saying Guacamelee 2 is better than Hollow Knight. The only reason I say that is because it annoys people and I find that hilarious. All I'm saying... There's room for more than one. Like, something doesn't have to be the best of the genre to make it worthwhile. Ancient Recall. And not everybody, you know, there are people who are listening. And they're gonna be like, nobody says that. For everything I bring up, somebody says it, okay? Just accept that I see, you know, maybe like 10,000 lines of chat a day. You'll see a lot of hilarious stuff be said in 10,000 lines of chat. And most of it is well-meaning. Or they just want to start a discussion. Like, I don't think anybody is going like, well, it's not as good as Hollow Knight. And then they're like, their whole goal is to get Drinkbox Studios shut down. You know, they're just doing it as a way to start a conversation and express their opinion, of course. I'm just expressing the fact that I vehemently disagree with that. Plus, I love being a chicken and destroying enemies with wrestling moves. And the art is beautiful. Are there memes in the game? Yes, there's memes in the game. Is that okay? No, it's highly not okay, but I tolerated it anyway. Regardless. I'm on kind of like a... Don't consider it an anti-nerd kick, but I saw a tweet today, and it didn't rattle me, but it annoyed me. Because it was like the BBC was like, kids across England are getting involved in Fortnite-inspired dance classes, and they were learning, like, the dances from Fortnite. And the tweet said, the world should have ended in 2012 like we thought it would. And I get that they didn't really think that, obviously. Like, that's not what I'm holding them to task over. But, you know, the video is like a bunch of 6, 7, 8-year-old boys and girls. And they're dancing, and they're doing the Fortnite dances. It brought a smile to my face, because I was like, these kids are being physically active. They're learning, you know, they're interacting with a hobby that they enjoy, you know? So what if they got into it because they enjoyed Fortnite? I started taking tennis lessons when I was 11 because of Mario Tennis. You think like somebody was at the tennis facility like, you're only here because of a video game.
You didn't get inspired by something that was as wholesome as what I got. And so I saw Martina Navratilova win the U.S. Open when I was 11, and I fell in love with the beautiful game. You know, who cares? You fell in love with the beautiful game where you got into dance class because of Fortnite. We had dance class in middle school. You know what we danced to? We did break dancing. I don't know if it's called broke dancing in past tense. We break danced to the Venga Boys. The Venga Boss is coming and everybody's jumping. Who cares? They're little kids. If they want to dance the Fortnite dance, so be it. I guarantee if nobody would bat a freaking eye if it was like, oh, these 6 and 7-year-olds are learning ballroom dance. Everyone would be like, oh, that's so cool and classy. But because they're doing the hype dance from Fortnite, at least a certain percentage of the population is like, oh, rip the next generation. Like, why are you so judgmental? I know coming from the king of judgment, that's Rich, but like, oh, these are just little kids. Who cares what they do? They're having fun. They're being active. They're meeting friends. They're doing something they're enjoying. Like, there's nothing, it's so much weirder and more shameful to be like, well, the youth these days are interacting with the medium in a way that I don't support. Why are you being weird about it? You'd rather the world ended than some kids learn how to do the hype dance from Fortnite? What's wrong with you? No, you know, cynicism, it was a good look. That was the good look on the internet until, like, you know, maybe 2014, 2015. Now we're in positive land, you know? It's just weird if you're like a 35-year-old dude and is like, I hope a meteor smashes into the planet because all these middle schoolers like Fortnite. You're not supposed to care what middle schoolers are doing unless you have a child who is a middle school age when you're 35 years old. You're supposed to let the people who were born, you know, literally in the year 2006 or later, you know, enjoy their lives under the supervision of their parents, friends, and family and do whatever they like. I don't understand why you're being such a Poindexter about it. That's why I'm kind of going off on, like, the internet response to things. But I digress, okay? I'll also say, abject positivity in all circumstances. Not always. It comes across as a little saccharine and fake as well. Corey sent me a message. It says, doing this on purpose. New bounty alert. Yo! My great friend Corey. Nice try. I don't have a bounty. Unfortunately, Corey, I do not have the bounty, but I appreciate you alerting me that one might exist and would not mind you doing it in the future, even though I am recording. Thank you for your acquiescence. That was very nice of him. He says it's one of the good ones too. What's it for? I won't read it out loud on video. What's it for? Come on, Corey, what's it for? Oh, that is a good one. I said on video, oh ho ho, that is a good one. But I didn't say what it was. Goodbye, my friend. Oh, I've got a secret.
You don't know what it... Yeah, just watch Corey stream. And if you see him do a bounty, you'll know what we're talking about. My bounties are dried up, dude. I'm not complaining about it, because that would be very tone deaf. But yeah, I'm living a bountyless existence lately. And that's okay. You know, I like streaming whatever I want to stream. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm going to stream some 7 billion humans. I might stream F1 2018, despite the fact that I know nothing about Formula 1 whatsoever. I don't know. As I get older... Here's the thing. When I was younger, like even 4 or 5 years ago, you know, I looked at a car. And what is a car? It's a car. Now that I'm getting older, I look at a car and I'm like, oh my god, there's like 4,000 machines inside of that one machine. You know, there's an alternator, obviously an engine, there's a carburetor. Somebody had to invent spark plugs. Like, I look at it and it almost brings a tear to my eye. It's inspiring that mankind could come together and develop something as amazing as an automobile. And it really is kind of amazing. I don't care if you don't see it the same way. And then, for whatever reason, now when I play video games, that's what I want. I want video games that are like, this machine goes vroom, but if you press the wrong button, it explodes. And I'm like, yeah, I'll play that for 40 hours, of course. Hey, what about this game where you can pretend to be a warlord in Sengoku-era Japan and, you know, unite the 7 tribes under a single daimyo? I'm like, no, I want the game where I drive a city bus and my boss yells at me if I miss too many stops or I show up, you know, 5 minutes early. You are not supposed to be at the stop at 5. You were supposed to be at the stop at 5:05. We have received many complaints. That's what I want. Sorry, boss. Do not let it happen again. The boss is played by Christoph Waltz. Oh, I'll take it, but like... I mean, be real with yourselves and with me and with each other. This run is bad, but it also exists to purge soy milk from the requirements. It works pretty well, like soy milk and parasitoid tears is actually fun. But in terms of power, it's a little on the low side. But I think with our defense, we're going to be able to make at least a mom's heart run work. It's like it's coming together pretty nicely, actually. Maybe it's not that bad. It's very nice when you land a bunch of parasitoid tears in a row and get like a staggering amount of flies and spiders. It's not very nice when you get matchbook, and that's not very, fun for anybody, really. A little post-Isaac stretch. I'm tired, man. Like, I'm exhausted. I keep staying up too late watching Netflix true crime documentaries. It's the sad truth. You know, I still go to bed at the time that I normally go to bed, but then I go, I'll just watch one episode of this. And then every single episode is like 55 minutes long. It's not like a show where you're like, I'll just watch one episode of, like, you know, How I Met Your Mother. You know, those are 22 minutes long. Every single one of these is like, it's an hour. It's like 2/3 of a short movie. So I close my eyes, I wake up, and I'm like, oh, it's 10 a.m. Why am I so groggy? It's because you stayed up until like 3:30, accidentally. Sort of accidentally on purpose. Watching the true crime documentaries, man. It's like your mom told you. She's like, you're never gonna be alert for school if you spend all your time watching true crime documentaries on Netflix. And I was like, Mom, how do you know who Reed Hastings is? And I was like, I saw him give a talk at GDC last year about you, but I thought that was just a dream. See, this is a John Riccitello joke. Reed Hastings is the current CEO of Netflix Enterprises. Hear me out here. Nutflix. That's all I'm going to say. You can fill in the rest of the bit yourself. If, you know, what's in a name? Everything you need, Shakespeare. Everything you need, William Shakespeare. All I'm saying is it could produce educational content related to peanuts, almonds, legumes, cashews, walnuts, blah, blah, blah. I'm very mad, by the way. We do a thing on the NLSS. We rank foods. Where we'll be like, and it's just, you know, it's one of those classic, like, you know, shoot the breeze kind of conversations. You're like, what's your favorite fruit? And then you get in conversations with people and somebody goes coconut. And you go, what, are you insane? Coconut? Like, do you have a jackhammer around at all times? And they go, well, I thought when you said favorite fruit, you meant favorite flavor. Not like, you know, oh, you have to prepare it for yourself at all times. And we go, you know, okay, you know what, well, what's your favorite if you did have to prepare it? And they go, banana. And you go, you know what, that's a pretty good answer. Anyway, I read this list, and it was like a ranking of fruits. And I don't disagree fully with the ranking. For example, the number one fruit in the ranking was pineapple. I love pineapple. It is acidic. You can't eat, you know, a kilogram of pineapple. You're going to develop canker sores, and it's stupid. This is just a very bad thing to do. unless you like canker sores for some reason, which would be very strange. Please don't at me if you like canker sores. That's very weird. You should speak to somebody about your foible there. Either way, though, I didn't realize melon is so disrespected. I've heard people talk about it before. They'll be like, oh, you know what I hate? Honeydew. It's tasteless. I'll be like, oh, one of my favorite fruit flavors? Watermelon. They're like, watermelon? Tastes like water. No, it doesn't. It's like it's so sugary. It's like a nature's candy. What do you mean it tastes like water? I hesitant to say this, but I'm gonna do it anyway, okay? Because like I'll debase myself for the entertainment of my audience. Can I get a heck yeah from all my melon lovers out there? Cantaloupe, honeydew, watermelon, wintermelon. Give me every single melon. In this ranking list, watermelon, cantaloupe, and honeydew were all in the bottom half of fruits. I very much disagree. Watermelon, the perfect summer treat. Cantaloupe and honeydew, not only brunch staples. I know not everybody's like super into brunch, but not only brunch staples, but you know, they got a nice soft texture, sweet flavor, endlessly edible. Up and down, up and down. Don't worry about that reference. If you got it, you got it. If you didn't, ask your parents. All I'm saying, I think melon is maybe the least respected fruit. People go to bat for other fruits all the time. Because you go, what's the worst fruit? Somebody says durian. Oh, well, yeah, it smells like farts, but in other parts of the world, it's considered a delicacy. Look, that's fine. Why are you going to bat for durian? And then, when someone goes, oh, I like cantaloupe, they go, cantaloupe? Are you crazy? We're eating cantaloupe in parts of the world. My part of the world, wherever I am, that's Cantaloupe County, baby. Go look up the list. You'll see, it was just one man's opinion, but still. I've heard a lot of melon disrespect. The list did illuminate some things for me that I agree with, but had not, but had not thought about. For one, they ranked clementines above oranges. Clementines are also tangerines. They're called, I forget that there's a brand name that's kind of become associated with them now. It's like Smiles or something like that. But anyway, I agree. Why are clementines, tangerines, etc., better than oranges? Because to peel a tangerine takes about 4 seconds. To peel an orange takes like, 45 seconds. It's the kind of stuff like that that makes a difference in rankings like these. It's the difference between finishing in 12th place and finishing in 4th place, you know? Tangerines would be pretty close to the top of, like, if I could only have one fruit for the rest of my life, what would I have? They'd be up there. Some of them, though, they ranked plums super high. And I very much disagree with it. You know, when I was a kid, I was beholden to whatever fruits my parents wanted to purchase. So I'd always have a piece of fruit in my lunch. That's right, they're good people. Not fruit snacks. Piece of real fresh fruit. And, from the store, so I don't know how fresh it would be, but fresh-ish. And every once in a while, usually it's an apple. Could be an orange with a spoon so I could peel it, and then my hand smelled like Pledge for the rest of the day until I got home. But some weeks, you'd open it up and there's a pitted plum in there, and you go, oh no, it's plum week. And some of them are like grainy, and some of them are too hard. Some of them are good, but I'm not a big plum guy. It's one of those things where, since I've moved out many, many years ago, to the best of my knowledge, I have not intentionally consumed a plum. When I go to the grocery store, I don't buy fruit in variety, for the most part. I have, like, fruits I like. I buy them every single time. I don't know what... Sometimes I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I do eat varieties of food, and there are some times where I'm like, I could really go for blah. But when it comes to, like, a lot of categories of food, never in my life have I been like, maybe I shouldn't get bananas this week. Maybe I should mix it up and get a fruit like an apricot. No, I like bananas more than apricots. If I'm buying apricots just to mix it up, when I'd rather be eating a banana, why am I depriving myself? There haven't been any revolutions in apricot science in the past, 4,000 years. I know what they taste like. I just prefer a banana. They're both good for you. Dude, we unlocked a bunch there. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It's a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!